Hello, good evening. I'm Roger Johnson. Welcome to North West Tonight. Monday evening, we're in a temporary home for a few weeks while the builders are in. Here's our top story. 7 men are jailed after mob violence outside an asylum seekers hotel in Knowsley. The judge said it had brought shame on the town of Kirkby. Also tonight,
this smells like rotten onions. What is that smell?
a rotting stink at the landfill site, which is offending residents in Fleetwood. Cyclist Dame Laura Kenny retires. Britain's most successful female Olympian is leaving the saddle for the final time. The past and the present. Marjorie recalls wartime air raids, maybe not the ones you'd expect, and rails against mobile phones.
I don't think anybody under the age of, well, shall we say 16 should have one.
And what a pleasant start to the week. It felt lovely in the sunshine. Some of us got 15 degrees. Andy saw some good spells of sunshine. How are we doing tomorrow? Join me at the end of the programme. I'll give you all the details.
Seven men are starting prison sentences tonight after a protest outside a hotel housing asylum seekers turned into a riot. The judge at Liverpool Crown Court said the violent mob had brought shame on Kirkby and the wider Merseyside area. Mairead Smith sent this from outside the court.
A violent and angry mob outside the Suites Hotel in Knowsley last year. This is the man who the judge described today as the self-appointed frontman. 61-year-old Brian McPadden from Kirkby rallied others over several hours. There were gasps from the public gallery at Liverpool Crown Court today as he was sentenced to 3.5 years. Thomas Mills, who's 47, brought this banner to the protest that night and he was sentenced to 2 years and 8 months. The pair are among 7 men starting a total of 18 years in jail for their part in the violent disorder.
Bricks, bottles, paving slabs and fireworks were all fired at officers and damage was caused to police vehicles, including one police carrier being set alight.
The events of that night stemmed from what police say was misinformation, speculation and rumours on social media after a video that appeared to show an asylum seeker asking a 15-year-old girl for her phone number and for a kiss. An 8th man, Harry Boynton, was given a suspended sentence of 16 months. His family covered their heads as they left court today. This hotel is now running as a regular business, but in February last year it was home to 150 asylum seekers. And it was outside this hotel that almost 300 people gathered in what was described as a violent mob. Passing sentence today, the judge in this case said that what happened here brought shame to the town of Kirkby, the borough of Knowsley and the wider Merseyside area. This is the remains of the police van after it was set alight that night. A number of other vehicles were damaged and 3 police officers were injured.
As they were being pelted with missiles, they remained professional and managed to restore order in a short period of time.
Merseyside police say they hope the sentencing sends a clear message of zero tolerance towards this kind of behaviour. Mairead Smith, BBC North West Tonight, Kirkby.
A Liverpool student has been sent to a young offenders institute and will be detained for 13 years after saying he wanted to kill 50 people. Jacob Graham was cleared of planning a bombing attack but was convicted of possessing and sharing terrorist material between May 2022 and May 2023. The judge said he was dangerous with clear terrorist intentions, as Ian Haslam reports.
I just don't see it as my choice. I see it as my destiny and my calling. Is I need to do this, because who will?
Jacob Graham made more than 100 videos from his bedroom at his mother's home in Norris Green. Using the name Destro the Destroyer, he claimed he wanted to kill at least 50 people. In the house, police found chemicals used to make explosives and various weapons.
It's a nice bit of kit.
Graham also shared a guide on using bombs, guns and poisons. He told the jury his activities were just escapism and fantasy. They disagreed.
I am satisfied that you are a dangerous offender. I am satisfied that there is a significant risk to members of the public of serious harm by you committing serious specified terrorism offences.
I also want to educate people on how how anybody could do this, anybody with a motive.
The courts heard Graham blame the government for his unsatisfactory life. He also spoke of feeling wronged by his college and ecological concerns and claimed he wanted to finish what US terrorist Theodore Kaczynski, known as the Unabomber, had started.
You know, if the news gets out there that there's been a bombing and stuff, and then like my name comes out, people will start searching me.
His actions were extremely dangerous. Other individuals could have accessed that material and gone on to conduct their own terrorist attacks. And the seriousness of that offence has been reflected by the sentence that's been handed down by the court today.
Police also today reiterated what they describe as the growing threat of online extremism in cases like this.
Depending on your circumstances, you can sometimes get put down the rabbit hole, as it were, to the point where you are existing in an echo chamber online where negative emotions are reinforced, where grievances are fueled, and where in some instances there is incitement to violence, which some people, depending on their real life circumstances, end up taking to heart.
Graham showed no reaction to his sentence, but later smiled at his mother in the public gallery, who had burst into tears as he was jailed. Ian Haslam, BBC North West Tonight.
An investigation is underway into why 2 NHS patients had to wait almost a week in A&E in Lancashire. The Lancashire and South Cumbria Integrated Care Board is refusing to say which hospital or hospitals were involved. It says that the cases were complex and not routine emergency admissions. A man who was hit and killed as he tried to stop thieves from stealing his car in Manchester has been named as Christopher Hanley. The 57-year-old's family say that they are heartbroken at the loss of a devoted family man who adored his grandchildren. 2 men are being questioned, one on suspicion of murder, after Saturday's incident in Beswick. It's just over a week since the start of Ramadan, a month-long celebration, of course, for Muslims across the world. But police are warning gangs of thieves are targeting Muslim households for gold jewellery, breaking in while families visit relatives or go to the mosque more often. They've stepped up patrols as a result in Oldham and in Rochdale, where there has been a spike in thefts. Here's our social affairs correspondent, Abby Jones.
When I saw that CCTV, my heart dropped. I didn't expect to see 3 men covered in balaclavas walking through my house, a place I consider my sanctuary.
The men, brandishing screwdrivers, ransacked this family home in Rochdale, turning the security camera around when they spotted it recording them. Their target was gold.
They went through everything. They looked through cupboards, they flipped pillows over, they flipped couch cushions over. They didn't take electronics, they didn't take expensive tablets, computers.
This homeowner wants to share his story to warn others during Ramadan, but is too frightened to show his face for fear the thieves might return.
There's a lot of word going around in the community of thieves entering homes looking for gold. Muslim people will become more of a target for these types of things. They go to pray at mosques 5 times a day, and that just leaves the home more vulnerable.
This gold jewellery was taken in a burglary in Ashton-under-Lyne last year. Since last August, more than £1 million of family gold has been stolen in Greater Manchester.
This is a crime that really affects communities, and the type of valuables that they're targeting, which is family gold. I mean, it's sentimental value. It's being passed from generation to generations. So the value that's being taken, it's very difficult to put a monetary value to this.
Police say this is a targeted crime with often gangs wrecking homes. They check to see whether there are decorations outside and whether people are regularly going in and out of their houses in the evening. Greater Manchester Police has increased its patrols and is also knocking on doors to warn householders.
Hello. Hi. Hello. Hi. I'm PC Latif.
Offering advice like leaving lights on and storing gold away from the home.
It's like a worrying thing, at this time of the year. When we go to mosque, we should be concentrating on what's going on in mosque to our prayers. But in the back of the head, we're thinking that, I left my house empty, maybe someone's going to try breaking in.
The thieves caught on this CCTV weren't able to find what they were looking for, but their actions have had a devastating effect on the family whose home they broke into.
Every single noise keeps reminding us of that time. We lock everything because these thieves, they're clever. They will scout out your house. They know when you're in, they know when you're leaving.
Abby Jones, BBC North West Tonight, Rochdale.
There's lots more on the BBC News website for you tonight, including Barrow Council says that it will fund swimming lessons at the town's leisure centre after 2 rescues at half-term raised issues about swimming competencies in the area. Edale Mountain Rescue Team were called to help a climber who fell from Stanage Edge in the Peak District at the weekend. And Lancaster City Council has supported calls for a new station in Morecambe to support attractions like the Eden Project Morecambe. Those stories and many more online tonight at bbc.co.uk/news or, of course, as always, via the BBC News app. Luckily, it's not smelly vision because Lancashire residents who live near this landfill site, which has recently reopened, say that the smell coming from it is making their lives unbearable. Transwaste has uncapped part of the landfill site in Fleetwood to modernise the site, but residents say that methane gas and odours which are escaping into the surrounding area are making them ill. Jonas Muller has this report.
For half a century, waste was dumped here for landfill. That's before the site in Fleetwood was closed in 2017. But it was reopened after room for more waste was found and planning permission was given. Harbour Village is a nearby housing estate. Almost 2 months ago, life started becoming very uncomfortable for its residents.
You'll come out and the air is really heavy with a strong stench of rotten onions, and that could be any time of the day.
They believe the odour is making them ill.
It doesn't smell like a normal tip. A normal tip smells like your bin or a lot of sulphides, rotten eggs, things like this. This smells like rotten onions. What is that smell?
My mum, she has emphysema and COPD. She's on oxygen 15 hours a day. So it concerns me about her health, what's actually in the air.
Transwaste acquired this site last year and the company says it's had to carry out extensive work to bring it up to modern standards. The temporary work has meant uncovering waste before it could be permanently capped. That area has seen installation of pinwells to capture methane and odours. But the position of this area has meant odours have escaped into the surrounding areas.
Yeah, I love the town council bit because you do all...
Lorraine Beavers is a Lancashire County councillor. She says the site should never have been allowed to reopen.
It's really hard for you to recap it and to control the methane gases in the directions they're going. What is it going to be like in the summer, you know, in August? You've got the wildlife, we're on a nature reserve, it's beautiful around here.
The Environment Agency has sent in officers and is monitoring the smell and adds if this continues to impact the local community, we will not hesitate to take a regulatory action.
I have been calling the Environment Agency at least twice a day for the last 6-7 days because they keep saying to me the more we report, the more the Environment Agency will come out.
Transwaste says it can't comment on individual health concerns.
I have gone onto their website and tried to get in touch, but there was no reply for Transwaste because I did invite them to come on the meeting on the 8th. Still no comeback from them.
Residents will make their case at a town council meeting later this month. Eunice Muller, BBC North West Tonight, Fleetwood.
We'll continue to follow that story. Oh, look who's here. Richard is...
I feel like I've walked into someone's house by accident, someone else's house, right?
It's quite small, isn't it? It's quite cosy.
Anyway,
we're going to talk about the FA Cup in a minute, but first of all, you can almost touch Laura Kenny in this studio, it's so small. She's called it a day.
She has, yeah. Dame Laura Kenny, who's called, as you know, Cheshire and the North West home for many years, has decided to call time on her remarkable career to spend more time with her young family. With 5 gold medals, the 31-year-old is Britain's most successful female Olympian, married to Bolton's Olympic cyclist Sir Jason Kenny, who also has a record medal haul. She's decided the time is right to hang up her bike.
Laura Trott is Britain's most successful female Olympian of all time.
For me now, it feels like the right time. Just the sacrifice you make when you have children and just leaving them behind. And this to me just felt like a sacrifice too far.
You were determined, weren't you, to show that you could be a mum and compete at the very highest level. Because you did that, Laura, is that part of what made you feel different after having Monty?
With Albie, I was just totally in. There's proof to so many people that it can happen. But then with Monty, I think because of all the troubles that I had even conceiving Monty,
I think that has had a bigger part to play in it than I ever really anticipated. Having children is a privilege, it's not a given. And I think I've realised that a lot more now. When we got knighted as well, it kind of felt like a ceiling, like it kind of felt like a cap. Like
Did it?
was
Like a moment?
Yeah, yeah.
You've done it?
Yeah, and it was just the most perfect day as well, with Jason and I getting them together.
And look at the face here, and young Laura Trott.
You've achieved so much, haven't you? If you were to look back at one moment though, Laura, what would that be?
London 2012.
Gold medal is going to go to Laura Trott, and I can't believe it.
Competing at home games, which I never thought I would be part of, to go on to win 2 gold medals, and then obviously Jason and I come out and say that we're together. It was just 2 weeks of absolute perfection.
People look at you as an extremely successful cyclist. You've been in the public eye for a long time, but how do you view yourself, Laura?
I'm just still that little girl that got on a bike. I'd like to think that I haven't changed since then. And it's funny because obviously like social media is going mental and I'm trying to like flick through them and I'm like, who are they talking about? Because it just doesn't feel like me, you know.
You're going to have quite a cycling team as a family, aren't you, when the boys grow up?
Except he hates riding a bike. Albie literally hates riding a bike.
Does he?
Yeah, yeah. He's more of a tennis player at the minute.
Obviously you're going to spend more time with the family, but have you got other plans?
I'd like to give back to the younger generation. I guess working alongside like the media or whatever, I really enjoy that.
I'm sure you won't be short of offers, Laura, that's for sure. Might we see you in Paris, either with the team or doing something?
I mean, I hope so, yeah.
How much have you enjoyed living and bringing up your family here?
Oh, I love it, honestly. Like, Cheshire has my heart through and through. My family have been made up here, you know. Like, obviously, I met Jason up here. We've been based up here since 2010. And I just love everything about it. I just feel like it is home. I mean, in fact, I moved my whole family up. So when Albie came along, my mum and dad have now come up too.
Oh, brilliant.
So yeah, we're all in Cheshire now. And my sister as well. And I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, it's great to have you in the Northwest,
Thanks.
Dame Laura. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank
Don't
you.
move, by the way. Make sure you stay.
I will,
And best of luck with everything that comes next.
Thank you, thanks.
What a remarkable career she's had. Now, we could have another All-Manchester FA Cup final after both United and City made it through to the last 4. City take on Chelsea. United will play Championship side Coventry after a dramatic 4-3 win over Liverpool at Old Trafford yesterday. A victory that was as big for United's boss as it was for the fans, as Phil Cunliffe reports.
But a few things better in football than a last gasp winner against your fiercest rivals. And this really was the late show. Amad Diallo's shot finding the net with just 10 seconds left to settle a ding-dong FA Cup tie.
Manchester United season is still alive.
Despair for Liverpool, but a turning point in the season for Manchester United.
This could be that moment where we that the team can really believe and the energy that they can do amazing things. And I think when you can beat Liverpool in the way we did, you can beat any opponent.
And you can excuse United supporters for getting all carried away, like 10-year-old Alfie and his dad Pete. Their tears of joy have been seen by millions across the world.
To beat your rivals with a last-minute winner, no better feeling. The atmosphere were electric, and when we kept scoring, it was so happy. And the last goal to make it win, I couldn't hold my tears back. I was so joyful.
So it's just nice that we've still got something to look forward to the rest of the season.
United fans might have sounded a little hoarse this morning, including Radio Manchester's United commentator, who admits he lost it.
Where did that rank then on the screamometer for you? Oh, it's off the scale. The screamometer isn't working anymore. I think it's the best game of football I've ever seen.
Twice, Liverpool nearly won this quarter-final. Mo Salah gave them a 2-1 first-half lead before they were pegged back. In extra time, Harvey Elliott put them 3-2 up, only for Marcus Rashford to equalise.
And sometimes losing games like this can have a hangover effect. It won't for Liverpool because they have too many big games to come. They have too much big game experience. And they'll use this as a resource to drive them on.
Of course, the same will be said of United, who now face Coventry at Wembley in the semi-finals.
Eric Ten Hag's position is under scrutiny, but then again, so was Alex Ferguson's when he first took over. Fergie's job was reportedly saved by an FA Cup goal from Mark Robbins before his side lifted the trophy in 1990, and the rest is history. Ten Hag will be hoping that yesterday's result will do the same for him. Phil Cunliffe, BBC North West Tonight.
What a game it was. Manchester City's progress, though, to the semi-finals was more comfortable. A routine 2-0 victory over Newcastle. City, the first side in FA Cup history to reach 6 successive FA Cup semi-finals, with 2 goals from Bernardo Silva, the difference at the Etihad Stadium. In the Premier League, relegation threatened Burnley came away with a vital 2-1 win at home to Brentford. To the WSL now, and only goal difference separates Manchester City women from leaders Chelsea after a dominant 4-1 victory at Brighton. Manchester United and Liverpool also won. Best of luck, Roger, as well to Stockport County tonight. Could go to within 2 points of League Two leaders Mansfield if they can beat Crawley.
Fingers crossed, they're going well. Richard, thank you very much. Right, before the weather with Kay in our cosy little studio, you might remember last month we featured these two. Twins, Thelma and Elmer. At 105, they'd just moved into the same care home in Lancashire, and after the end of that interview, I asked whether there were any other centenarians with interesting stories to tell. Well, thank you, because we had lots of suggestions. We're really grateful to everybody who wrote in. We are working our way through them all. The first one tonight, I've just been to see Marjorie Hodnett, who is even older than the twins. Have a look.
My full name is Marjorie Ethel Hodnett, and on Easter Monday, which is bank holiday, I will be 110.
She may be 110 in a fortnight, but Marjorie is still as sharp as a pin. She moved to Formby to be nearer to family just before the pandemic.
I was born in Harleston, then we moved to Wembley. You may have heard of that.
Indeed.
And I remember the trees being cut down to make way for the stadium, and I remember that stadium going up. And of course, those 2 towers were known all over the world, but they couldn't be kept because they were not built of brick or stone, they were made of concrete, and so they just had to be broken up. Now it looks like any other stadium with a great...
You're not a fan of the arch?
No, I'm not fond of the arch.
Marjorie was born just before the outbreak of the First World War. She has a vague memory of her father going off to the front, but has a more distinct recollection of the conflict coming closer to home.
When there was an air raid, we had kept a mattress under our big dining room table, and I can remember, and I kept hearing Zeppelin, Zeppelin, Zeppelin. I thought, oh, that's a nice word. And that's the first word I learnt to say.
Marjorie's dad returned, but so many didn't.
Oh, there were so many killed in that First World War. It was an absolute massacre. People have gone through so much for us. I think when the women were trying to get votes, I think they were actually tortured sometimes. Women had a rotten time. They really did. People can be very kind. They can also be very cruel.
Marjorie married twice. Both her husbands died young, and she spent her working life in the classroom.
I was a teacher when I was a child. One of my first birthday presents was a blackboard and easel.
The world has changed significantly over the 11 decades Marjorie's been alive. When I asked her the biggest change she's seen, the question barely left my mouth.
Mobile phones.
Right.
I think they're a menace. I don't think anybody under the age of, well, shall we say 16 should have one. They've got to get to know people as human beings, not things on a phone.
The whole point of this series is to hear the memories and wisdom of those who are older than most of us. How about this from Marjorie?
Always take whatever opportunity presents itself, because you'll always go on wondering what would have happened if I hadn't taken this opportunity.
Marjorie certainly knows her mind and won't be put off celebrating her birthday when it falls on a bank holiday.
Well, I don't care what they say. They say I have to celebrate it on Tuesday. No, that's not my birthday. My birthday's on Easter Monday and it's bank holiday, and that's when I'm going to celebrate it.
Quite right too, Marjorie. You tell them. She was amazing, wasn't she? Absolutely razor sharp, Kate. Mentally so clever.
I
so
can't
switched
believe. I struggle sometimes to remember what I did last week.
I know.
Never mind.
And she, honestly, her recollections are so vivid and just incredible.
And we share the same birthday.
Do you?
I'm an April Fool. It explains a lot.
Are you? Yeah. Who would have guessed?
Right, weather-wise, it's been a bit of a treat today, I thought. I actually left the house in a blazer, a sure sign of spring to come. But don't be fooled, because temperatures are going to drop by the end of the weekend. I'll come to that in a minute. This is how it looked on a morning walk in St Helens, and actually it's here where we got 15 degrees, so really pleasant. And alongside that in Cheshire, again, we got 15, just about 15.4 degrees. It did feel nice, but you can see on this photograph that line of cloud, it rolled in, and that's associated with the cold front that's pushing our way. And that is going to introduce rain tonight. It'll then give us some showers for first thing tomorrow morning, but it improves as we head through the day. You can see it here on the pressure chart, the isobars more tightly squeezed, so it's going to be a blustery night. That will clear through and it should be fine for a good deal of tomorrow before the next front pushes up with further rain overnight into Wednesday. So out and about at the minute, cloud continues to thicken. Already some spots of rain for the Isle of Man. The rain sweeps across all parts, dry for a time, and then showers to end the night. Now, these showers could be quite sharp. By about 5 o'clock in the morning, gusts of between 20 and 30 miles per hour, but it will be windier than that around midnight, so just take it easy if you are commuting overnight. 10 degrees on average, the low, so not cold, no frost, but showers to start tomorrow morning off with. They'll clear through. It brightens up quite nicely. 1 or 2 showers into the afternoon, but few and far between, so unlucky if you see them. Plenty of sunshine, and again, it's going to be more southern parts that get to 15 degrees. Now, I'm just going to scoot ahead over to the weekend. We hold on to the mild conditions for a time. By Saturday, we pull down this cold blue air, and that does mean Saturday itself is going to feel much colder, chilly Arctic air, and any showers that come through are likely to be wintry in nature. And that, Roger, is your forecast.
Well, don't fall over. It's not far to walk now, is it?
Getting up close and turf.
Very cosy, isn't it? So we're in here for 8 weeks, as we've said a couple of times. A few people sorry about the sound issues we had earlier on. And then we will have a lovely brand new studio, which we're very excited about. Yeah, something to look forward to. Thank you for your company. As always, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.
Take care.